Hey, Pixel.
Hey, Paige.
Gross. Um, so I went to the movies.
What did you see?
Project Hail Mary.
Which you're going to be talking about in next week?
Yup.
Whoa. Okay,
Yes.
continue.
Okay, so we went to go see Project Hail Mary. Phenomenal, by the way. But before that, obviously, we had to go and get snacks.
Of course.
I bought a fun popcorn tin that came with a patch that looks like the Project Hail Mary. It's like an actual patch. It's pretty cool. And?
No, you're just one of those suckers that pays for that.
Only
expensive.
this one. Just every once in a while. Not all.
Only this one. Well, every once in a while.
I think I've done it twice.
Okay.
Because I really wanted that patch. It's super cool looking. Anyway, that's not the point.
I'm happy for you.
That's not the point. The point is that the guy at the concession stand would not shut up. It was kind of awkward. So, first of all, the button for this fancy popcorn bucket was not in their register because it's like a temporary item. And so somebody had to add it. And it took like 10 minutes. And so during this whole time, this guy was just like talking about everything and asking us like, oh, what other movies are you going to see? And blah, 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 blah. What else is coming out? And we're just like, bro, I just want my popcorn. Like,
God bless.
And so we get to the end of it and we walk over to the soda machine and Brandon goes, I might have to go home. My social battery is just done. But then I made him go get the refill before the movie started. I didn't ask him if the same guy was up there, but he like looked at me. He was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Listen, I don't want to get up." I made him go get it anyway. So sorry. Anyway, today is a video game episode.
It sure is. Today, friends, we will be taking a first step into a game franchise, one of my favorite franchises, in fact, that I am certain we will be revisiting in future episodes. And that franchise is Resident Evil. The most recent game in this series.
Wait.
What?
Aren't you going to say your catchphrase?
I'm not there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Normally you say it at the beginning.
It's going to be at the beginning. It's in my notes. I would not forget.
Okay.
Just because you don't have a catchphrase doesn't mean I'm ever going to forget my catchphrase. The most recent game in this series dropped on February 27th of this year. Look how timely I am. Look how generous I'm being with you peons, you peasants that sit at home listening to us talk and scratching your balls and smelling your own farts. Am I not gracious? Resident Evil 9 Requiem is a survival horror game created by Capcom. And I know it's another survival horror game. You're going to get a lot of those because that's what I like. It's my favorite genre by far. I've tried to mix things up, but my episodes are going to lean in this direction, and you're just going to have to forgive me. Requiem is the 9th main game in the Resident Evil canon, but it is somewhere between the 13th and the 31st Resident Evil game overall.
That is way too big of a gap.
Well, it depends on how you count remakes and spin-offs and crossovers.
All right.
It's tricky. The purists will say it's the 13th game. The loosey-goosey flapping vajayjays out there, they're going to say it's the 31st game. You got me all worked up. You started me off hot, Paige. There are also 11 Resident Evil movies and 1 TV show, which flopped pretty resoundingly.
Womp womp.
But I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. So there is. Oh, and there's novels. There's so much Resident Evil. I didn't even get into the books. There's everything. Tons of Resident Evil lore out there. This game in particular makes its bread and butter off of the nostalgia for Not the older games. So Resident Evil 6 was a nostalgia play on all of the games that had come before it.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil Requiem is a nostalgia play on all the remakes
Okay.
of those games because they added some different things. The environments look different. It is leaning in. It is for people like me who got into the genre, got into the franchise kind of late and
Mm-hmm.
started off with the remakes.
Gotcha.
Like this is pixel bait right here. This
Gotcha.
game is. So, but like, even though I plan on giving several of these other like games their own episodes, I'm gonna have to mention them from time to time here because this game is leaning so heavily on references to
Gotcha.
some of these previous games. So anyway, let's rock this, you know. Because we're still in Lent hell, my friends.
Oh, bummer.
I know.
Will we still be in Lent by the time this episode airs?
By the time it airs, yes. We might have to like do a Monday night recording or something. I don't want to have to record another episode during Lent.
But doesn't Lent end on Good Friday, though?
On Easter.
Oh, I thought it ended on Good Friday.
No.
All right. I don't know anything. I didn't start
Or
doing
like,
Lent
so
till I was in
it's like midnight on Saturday, like that midnight into Easter.
Oh, I thought it was anyway. Whatever.
It doesn't really.
By the
My
way,
point
before we
is-
get started,
Yeah.
I want you to know that I used to think that peons was literally saying like people who would be peed on.
I mean, probably.
No, it's not spelled that way.
I know it's not, but also like they probably got peed on. I've been
Yeah.
peed on.
Ew, stop.
There are 2 main playable characters in Resident Evil 9.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's get back to this.
I did watch a walkthrough of a very maybe the first third of the game with Brandon.
Okay.
So I might
Okay.
understand a little bit, you know.
Okay.
Continue. Go
So-
ahead. So sorry.
The first character you get to play as is Grace Ashcroft. She's an FBI agent. And then the other guy you get to play as is Leon S. Kennedy. He works, in this game, he works for the BSAA, which is like this organization that neutralizes bioweapons and
Okay.
threats around the world.
Okay.
Both of these characters appear in previous games, but Grace to a much lesser extent than Leon.
Gotcha.
Like, basically, so Grace was in a game called Resident Evil Outbreak, which is like an arcade style, like one of those games where it's like you have a big gun controller and your buddy has a big gun controller and you're shooting at the screen at the
That's
same time.
fantastic.
They did a Resident Evil branded one of those. Grace is one of the characters in
Okay.
that. And she is the daughter of a journalist who survived the initial zombie outbreak in Raccoon City,
Mhm.
which means nothing to you yet, but boy howdy will it by the end of this episode.
When you say Raccoon City, it reminds me of the town from Parks and Recreation, Pawnee, Indiana, because they literally have a raccoon infestation, and it's like a running joke in the show that they just have this raccoon problem. So that's what I think of,
That's fine.
Okay.
There is an infestation in Raccoon City.
but not of raccoons.
Unfortunately, no.
No bad biochemical something.
Yep.
Womp womp.
Leon, on the other hand, is the main character, or a main character, at least of Resident Evil 2, 4, and 6. And he also makes appearances in several other games and movies. Leon is arguably the biggest star of the Resident Evil
Okay, I've seen a lot of
universe.
memes dealing with him.
Leon is a big deal. Like, there's some like Team Jill, there's some Team Chris. Leon is,
I saw one making
Big
fun of
deal.
his super tight
he's
Quarter zipped
so tight.
shirt.
Count every single muscle in his torso.
Is that comfortable? I can't be.
I mean, if it's like well made,
Maybe.
compression can be nice.
Okay. I just feel like you would get really sweaty really quickly fighting zombies in that. It's extra moisture wicking.
Fans at home, if you've ever worn a tight quarter zip while fighting zombies, how sweaty did you get? So, I'm going to go more in depth on Leon's character later, but just know that Leon is an old pro when it comes to killing zombies. Leon is a
Sweet.
murder machine. Leon will kick you apart. So the game goes back and forth with who you're playing as. In the first half, you're mostly Grace with like brief interludes where you play as Leon. And then in the second half, that switches and it's mostly Leon with brief appearances by Grace.
Gotcha.
But for the purposes of this summary, I'm just going to tell you what the plot is and not like worry about
Switching
all the
back and forth. Okay.
So, game opens with FBI agent Grace Ashcroft being sent to investigate a murder that took place in an abandoned hotel in a city that looks suspiciously like Chicago, but we are supposed to believe is Renwood.
Renwood.
The thing is, this is the same hotel that Grace's mother was murdered in 8 years before, and is in fact abandoned now because of that murder. So, it's all very creepy, and she's sent to investigate this murder by herself, which doesn't make any sense. But, plot.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that she's on the case at all when that's where it is.
Right, that is a huge
crazy.
Conflict of interest.
And then it's like, go ahead, you got this. No, you don't need a partner. It's crazy.
You're not going to have PTSD flashbacks. You'll
Craziness.
be fine.
She'll be fine.
Wrong-o.
She's not. Anyway, this murder that she is sent to investigate at this abandoned hotel is believed to be part of a series of murders involving people who were in Raccoon City on Outbreak Day 28 years ago.
Huh.
So Raccoon City was ground zero for the initial zombie outbreak, specifically the mansion of Oswald Spencer on the outskirts of town. Spencer was a mad scientist, gazillionaire, owned a pharmaceutical company called Umbrella that was essentially a bioweapons front.
Fantastic.
And one of the viruses that he created in an attempt to make super soldiers, the T virus, breached containment. The thing with most of Umbrella's viruses is a few people, for whatever genetic reason, react really well to the virus and become like superhuman, powerful creatures.
Oh.
Most people just become some flavor of mindless, violent zombie.
Okay.
And there's a handful of people that are immune, it would seem.
Okay.
So a lot of people died in Raccoon City, either because of the zombies or because the government then nuked Raccoon City to keep the virus from spreading. But a very few people, like Leon, like Grace's mom, were there and survived and got out.
Oh.
But now these survivors are getting sick and dying in mysterious ways.
Oh.
And it seems like they were, in fact, exposed to the T virus on a low level, and they have been getting sick this whole time, and it's just kind of catching up to them and manifesting now.
Great.
Leon is also investigating these deaths, but for much more personal reasons, because he was there, he's a survivor, and he is sick now.
Okay. I feel like I vaguely remember something like that in the walkthrough I watched.
Okay.
A scene about that.
Yeah, they hint at it early on.
Yeah.
It goes into more detail later.
Okay.
So, it's one of these bodies that Grace has come to this hotel to investigate. But what she finds right after she finds the body in this creepy abandoned hotel is a picture of herself with a hotel room key taped to the back and a note that says, "Let's talk, room 204."
Ew.
Which is the room Grace was staying in with the night that her mother was killed.
Great.
So she goes to room 204, finds that the whole bed is covered in more pictures of Grace and her mom, which then triggers a memory of the night her mom died. So we learn it wasn't just a random murder. Her mom knew before she was killed that somebody was after her, and she hid a floppy disk behind a painting in the hotel lobby. And Grace, trauma, whatever, forgets all about it until this moment in the game.
Oh.
So, she kind of like goes back and finds it behind the painting. And to top it all off, the man who killed her mother is not just a normal man. He is like a zombie person hybrid. He looks like a zombie. He's incredibly hard to kill, but he can speak. He can use a weapon. It's very strange. Very strange.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
It's the worst of every world, isn't it?
Ew. No, thank you.
So anyway, Grace gets the floppy disk. It's right where her mom left it. But on her way out, there was a cop who was guarding the entrance to this abandoned hotel. He's acting hella weird now.
Great.
Kind of like
Okay.
a zombie. But he can still talk and fire his gun. So Grace is able to, basically she throws him out a window, but not before he bites her.
Okay. Is biting a thing that makes you a zombie in this universe?
It should, but it doesn't make Grace a zombie.
Egads!
Egads! What is afoot? After the scuffle, so after, throws a cop out a window, zombie cop, whatever, you notice there's a light on in this hotel, which it's been abandoned for 8 years, and it looks like you see every day of its abandonment. It is in rough shape. There should not be any electricity still on. So you go into the room with the light on, and you see a man who also looks like a zombie, but still has a fully functioning brain. And this man admits that he planted the body there as a ruse to lure Grace to him. And then he strangles her till she's unconscious.
Rough day at the office, man.
And I had thought, slight jumping ahead, spoiler alert, I had assumed that her FBI boss must have been in on it, because the fact that she was there was, no, she goes back to work for them after all this is done, and is palling around with her boss. I'm like, so you're just incompetent as all get out. Cool.
Fantastic.
Good to know.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
I love Resident Evil, but it is not the best storytelling franchise. There's a lot of things that happen, and it's like, why? Oh, because plot. Because plot, that's why.
Why else?
So, Grace wakes up in this creepy hospital, quote unquote.
This is mostly what I
That's
saw
what you
the
saw.
walkthrough. Oh my god, I can't stop yawning.
Stop it. This is an interesting game, and I'm an interesting person.
No,
stop
I'm very, very interested. I just sometimes...
It is almost 10 o'clock. It's been a long day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
So, she's in this hospital, and it has essentially the same layout as the mansion from Resident Evil 1.
Okay.
But, it's got some hospital rooms, too, but it's a weird, creepy mansion that also is doing hospital stuff. It's not a hospital in a traditional sense.
No.
And this hospital is full of these almost but not quite zombies. And they're all different.
Uh-huh.
But they're similar in some ways. They all have the graying skin. They're all sensitive to light in varying degrees.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, some of them are totally blind. Others, light burns their skin. Others just kind of complain about it burning their eyes, or they're trying to turn lights off or whatever. They've all got something up with light.
Okay.
And they can all speak, but they tend to be stuck in their own little loops.
Okay.
They're not super aware of the world around them. They're not, which makes them kind of easy to sneak past because they get real focused on whatever's going on up in those weird little noggins of theirs. But if they notice you, they will attack. Mm-hmm. They'll attack Grace if they notices that she's there. The monster design in this game is great, though. So in other entries in Resident Evil, I loved Resident Evil 7, for example, but there was two kinds of monsters outside of the bosses. It's very samey when it comes.
Gotcha.
All of the zombies are different in this game.
They spent a lot of time designing different zombies.
They're all distinct. They've all got their own thing.
That's pretty cool.
It's super cool. There's a giant woman in a hospital gown with werewolf feet, and she can't be in the light at all, but she will travel through the walls and the ceiling to get to you. There's a woman who is creepily singing to herself all the time.
Oh my god, no.
I love her.
I can't
it's
stand
so
creepy singing. Absolutely not.
It's singing all the time. Kind of singing and laughing to herself, a mix of singing. And if she spots you, if she sees you, she will scream so loud that you almost die. So that's the me stand-in. That's Pixel. That's what happens if I become a zombie. I'm that character. I'm singing and laughing to myself, and then I scream so loud that you die.
Alrighty.
There's a huge zombie that's dressed like a chef with a huge knife. Oh. There's an even huger zombie that's so big that he barely fits in the hallway. Is
that the baby? Or is the
yes,
baby different?
That's a baby look. He's not a baby.
He looks like a giant baby.
He just never stops consuming things. And the virus makes him Like, he will just grow into
okay.
whatever space,
I saw on Instagram somebody made a mod or something to turn him into Shrek.
Shrek. There is a Shrek mod for every Resident Evil game. God bless. There are so many amazing Resident Evil mods.
How do mods work? What does that mean?
So somebody, basically a nerd, can like get into the code of the game and patch it with, like, they can find what specifically is controlling what this character looks like, and they patch it with their own code.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it.
Okay.
I just know basically how it works, but I've never
Can you
modded.
take someone else's mod and put it in your game, or would they have to come and do it to your game too?
I think you can like send them through the interwebs.
Oh, okay.
You are rapidly approaching the ends of my knowledge.
Okay.
About mods.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a chainsaw doctor. We're going to talk about him more later. There's zombies dressed like maids and nurses and patients, and they're all different, and it's the monster design is so good in this game. So you're wandering this creepy hospital, trying to get out, trying to avoid these monsters. And at first, beginning of the game, you have no way to defend yourself. You just got to run and hide.
Okay.
It is a run and hide. And then you find a gun, but it's still not enough to drop these enemies.
Okay.
Like, it would take more ammo than you have.
Okay.
To actually kill them. And even if it seems like you've killed them, some of them will eventually get back up. No matter how many times you drop them.
Fantastic.
So this game, at first, it's a run and hide. Which is it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a style of survival horror game where you are defenseless and stealth is your only means of survival. I do not like run and hide games.
No, that sounds stressful.
Yes, thankfully, you find the secret weapon just in time, like right before I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this if this is how this game is.
Okay.
It doesn't end up being too long before you find the secret weapon.
What is the secret weapon?
So all along, as you're investigating this hospital, the game keeps pointing out to you how there's like pools of blood all over the place. It's like you're walking around, you get this like on-screen prompt where it shows you, like, the game will indicate, hey, you should click here, you should look here. There's something here.
Okay, yeah, like not sparkles,
There's
but that's like
sparkles,
a thing that
yeah.
Okay.
So it'll prompt you to click, and then all it does is say, like, oh, geez, that's a lot of blood. And I was, like, getting annoyed. It's like, I know, I can see it. I can see there's blood there. Stop prompting me. If you don't have an herb for me, if you don't have a bullet for me, don't make me click on something. But then I discovered this little tool that lets you collect the blood. So now all those places that were just, like, speech prompts are now places you can draw up blood into this vial.
Blood.
And once you have the blood, you can combine it with other resources to make anything you can imagine. You can make healing items and this insta-kill weapon, which makes the zombies explode. So they definitely aren't getting back up after that.
Yeah.
You can make ammo. You can make Molotov cocktails. You can make acid in a jar and health upgrades and aim upgrades. Anything you could possibly need in a survival horror game, you can make with blood, which is so stupid. And
doesn't make any logical
It is the most Resident Evil.
How do you make blood into bullet?
You mix blood and scrap metal together, obviously.
And blood stick scrap metal together make bullet?
You don't need to know anything more. It is the most Resident Evil brain rot thing I have ever seen in my life. It's like
alchemy, but
yep. Because plot.
But zombie.
Because plot, Paige. Blood cool, scrap metal available, need bullets. That's why. But yeah, once you have the secret weapon, her section becomes a lot easier. And it becomes more combat focused and less of a run and hide. Which I was grateful for. Through all of this, you learn that the hospital is a research site trying to unlock the secrets of the last bioweapon that Oswald Spencer created before he died. A weapon called Elpis. I know it's such a gross sounding name. There's a reason for it's actually kind of neat. There's the reason for the name, but you don't know at first. It just sounds like a Elpis, like Elpis. That's...
I guess it kind of sounds like a disease, I guess. Like lupus.
Oh, yeah. It's not. And the experiments, they don't seem to be going well that they're conducting in this facility.
You don't say.
No. With the exception of one seemingly normal girl who is being held in a glass cage in the basement.
Seemingly normal.
Yep. Her name is Emily. She is blind, but she looks like the spitting image of Grace. Looks just like her.
Ooh, did they get her DNA?
We're gonna get there.
No.
So eventually you solve all the puzzles, you find all the key items, you make your escape with Emily, only to have her kidnapped from you by one of the monsters. Like, you get her out, you run like 15 feet, and someone else swoops in and takes her.
It made me so mad.
Yep. So Grace follows them down into this like basement dungeon thing with a blood sewer.
Absolutely not.
Because it would not be a Resident Evil game if it did not make you play in a sewer. That's a whole other thing. It's a thing. So technically, it's a blood rendering factory, but it is laid out just like the sewer. This is the sewer level of Resident Evil fans at home that know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure.
So you find Emily, you get her out again.
Taken again?
You get her. You're ready to go.
I know, but then is she immediately taken again?
Just
okay, sorry.
You go outside and you see a helicopter and a pilot just chilling there. And when I say there is no explanation given as to why they're there, there is no. They're just there. They just happen to be there. Did someone call the cops? I don't know. Because you need a helicopter for plot. Yeah. They're there because plot.
I mean,
but also because plot. The helicopter key is inside this other spooky, deadly location. So Harry, the helicopter pilot, he says, "Hey, girl, I'll fly you and Emily out of here if you go get that key for me." Because he has like a bum leg from an old war injury. He's like, I can't run away from anything.
Okay, but like, what is he doing there?
He's just there with his helicopter. You're asking me questions that I cannot have the answer to because there is no answer.
So he is also at this hospital place, just chilling with a helicopter with no key.
Because his boss left with the key and hasn't come back. And he went into the spooky house. There's but I don't know, Paige. I don't know, Paige.
Alrighty.
So, Grace goes in the creepy house, which of course has a huge underground lair with zombies floating in tanks, because it would not be a Resident Evil game without zombies floating in tanks. So you get the helicopter key, but in the process you free a ton of zombies who chase you, follow you to the helicopter, jump all over it, and make it crash like 100 feet from where you took off. In a graveyard. Because, why not? Let's make this spookier. Let's have a graveyard. Just for this Deus Ex helicopter to crash into.
I would probably quit the game at that point. I'd be like, what? You just sent me to find this helicopter key just to land in a graveyard?
No, but it's so fun. Like, that's the thing. If you just look at the plot, it's like, what is even happening? But it is so fun to play that you're like, yeah, sure. Sure, Harry. Whatever, I'll go get your key. Are there going to be more things to kill? Are there going to be more puzzles to solve? I'm in.
There's puzzles?
Yeah, it's a puzzle game. So, like, you have to find, like, codes and open locks and, like, figure out what keys go with what things and...
When I say I am a sucker for puzzle games, but it's so scary. I don't know if I could deal with being scared. My heart rate would just be up so much, and I'd get so stressed that I wouldn't even be able to focus on the puzzles.
Well, then, try the Shrek mod.
But that's why I want to know how I can get the Shrek mod and the Thomas the Tank Engine mod, because I'd much rather shoot Thomas the Tank Engine.
Or the mod where Leon and Grace swap bodies and like they're animated like each other. It's so funny. The mods, God bless everyone who uses their free will and their time to make Resident Evil mods.
It's fantastic.
We salute you. So, you and Emily, Grace and Emily, survive. Emily is badly wounded, and pour one out for Harry, the helicopter pilot. He's dead.
Aww.
He's dead.
Maybe if he didn't have that bum leg, he would still be alive.
Wow. Not really, because I don't think that's anything to do with flying the helicopter. He just didn't go get the key himself.
Do you think if he got the key himself, it would have been different?
I think he probably would have been, if he had the key, he wouldn't have been there. I think he would have just been gone when all those I don't know.
All
When all those zombies came. Whatever, I don't know. Harry's there for like 2 minutes and then he's dead.
Uh-uh.
So, Grace runs into the church, which is at the edge of the graveyard. Leon, who has been one step behind you this whole time, but like trying to be helpful, he snipes zombies to protect you while you break into this church.
Okay.
You're carrying Emily, which is another thing about this game. Emily is blind, but like she could walk, but Grace insists on carrying her everywhere, and it's like Grace is like 100 pounds soaking wet. Like just hold her hand and guide her. Like it's ridiculous, but you have to carry her, which means you can't use weapons. It's so dumb the way that like they add tension to some sections by being like, you got to carry Emily. Why? Why do I need to carry her? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway,
infantilize someone who's blind. You know?
Truly, she's like 8. She can walk. So anyway. You get into this church, you think you've gotten Emily to safety, but she soon dies from her wounds.
Are you kidding
me? Or
me?
Does she? Turns out Emily is not a normal girl.
What? I did not see this coming.
She's infected too, and upon her death, she transforms into this huge, gross monster with like vagina dentata face. But despite everything she's been through with these monsters, Grace has the nerve. She has the audacity to be mad at Leon for shooting Emily to protect her. She's like angry and distraught that Leon would dare kill this giant murder machine that, okay, happened to look like an 8-year-old girl a moment ago, but is a giant toothy vagina face trying to eat you. And Grace is like, Leon, how could you? That was a girl that I met an hour ago, and I love her. I don't like
No,
Grace.
She's not. She was just pretending.
No, it's not that. That's not. It's not that she was pretending.
Oh, okay.
She was a girl who had a virus that took over when the girl part died. So it's like she wasn't pretending. It wasn't a trap.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But also, like, Grace, what was he supposed? What on God's luscious earth?
The Emily you knew
was Grace
is
supposed
gone.
to do? Yes. At least in this moment,
gone.
and even if she wasn't, it's kill or be killed.
Yeah.
So she's like, all like, I'm mad at you. So she wanders off, only to be kidnapped again by the zombie doctor scientist dude, whose name we now know is Victor Gideon. So it's at this point where the game switches from mostly Grace to mostly Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Leon tracks Grace from the hospital on the outskirts of Renwood to Raccoon City.
Yay.
They're bringing it back home. So the brunt of this half of the game is Leon wandering through Raccoon City, trying to find Grace, and by extension, Dr. Gideon, and the weapon Elpis.
Mm-hmm.
His mission, on top of saving Grace, is to destroy Elpis, because like I said, he works for the BSAA.
Yeah.
He destroys bioweapons. That's what he does. So you discover pretty quickly that Raccoon City is not the irradiated wasteland that you think it should be. Like, it was nuked 28 years ago.
Mm.
But there are still plenty of things alive in Raccoon City.
Okay,
Yeah. There are zombies, there are zombie dogs, there are zombie plants, there are giant spiders, and there's evidence that shady government agencies have set up shop there and have been working undetected the whole time. Because everyone thinks it's just an exclusion zone that nobody goes to. Nobody's going to sniff around, see what's going on in Raccoon City. His search for Grace takes him to Raccoon City Police Department, which is the setting of Resident Evil 2, and the place where we first met Leon all those years ago. In 1998. We first met. And this is where we learned that Leon has hella PTSD.
You don't say.
there's lots of like nostalgia heartstring moments in this section. So like the outbreak happens on Leon's first day as a recruit for Raccoon City Police Department.
Oh.
So all of the stuff for his welcome party is still there. Like there's a banner that says "Welcome Leon" that's still hanging up. Stuff belonging to his colleagues is there that he watched die. There's like a note that he finds a note writing about like the supply list for his welcome party. And you have these little like flashback moments where you see him talking with these other officers that he was working with. And
That's
honestly,
fucked up,
yeah, it's a bit heavy-handed in its execution. But this section like really does give Leon's character depth because usually he's just a cool guy who says one-liners and does big murder and never feels anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like having this section that shows you that like that's not the case. Like
he is a whole person.
He's a person. He was really impacted like by this, and he uses humor to cover it up and violence, whatever. But like deep down, he is messed up because of what happened in Raccoon City. And also like it was really cool exploring an environment that I was so familiar with from Resident Evil 2. Like it was a recreation of that. But like let's take this setting and see what would happen if it was nuked. Mm-hmm. So, like, you can see the bones of the structure, like, it's recognizable as what it was, but also it's all messed up, too. Which, like, the artist just did a really good job with the environments. Good. Speaking of that nuke, you learn that it wasn't ever intended to destroy or contain the virus. The intention the whole time was to make sure that nobody would come looking for Elpis.
Oh, it's a distraction.
Mm-hmm. Oswald Spencer died with incomplete and cryptic notes about what Elpis was. But Victor Gideon, creepy zombie doctor dude, seems to think that the bioweapon Elpis is some sort of mind control virus. The most powerful and deadly bioweapon ever made.
Oh.
Furthermore, they believe that Grace is the key to finding Elpis. Spencer hinted in his notes that she might be a clone. Same with Emily and several others, and that's why they all look the same. That like they were all created in a lab and used to like work out this virus for their DNA or whatever.
Okay.
And Victor Gideon has been trying to make another Grace just from Spencer's notes. So that's who all these monsters in the hospital are. They are failed attempts at creating from Spencer's notes a person that is a carrier for this Elpis weapon.
Oh.
But yeah, it's not going well. So finally he just decides, you know what? I need the original. I'm just going to kidnap Grace herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken a long time to find her, though. Gideon is the one who killed her mom trying to get her. Mm-hmm. So, like, this has been 8 years in the making that he's been trying to kidnap this girl. They finally got her. They are on the cusp.
I gotcha.
Yeah, they are on the cusp of releasing Elpis into the world. So, Leon finally tracks Grace down at this deep underground research lab run by this company called ARC, which is a bioweapons company that is basically just an Umbrella rebrand.
Oh.
Like, Umbrella disbanded after Raccoon City. No, the heck they did not.
Changed their name and went super secret.
Yeah. So he learns that ARC is not the only company that has been secretly run by Umbrella this whole time. The BSAA...
What?!
The very organization
I did not see that one coming. Oh my god.
Is secretly run by Umbrella too. They are controlling their own opposition and using it for they're essentially using the BSAA to wipe out their competition. And Leon's been played like Charlie Daniels' fiddle.
You tricked me. Like Brendan Dassey in Making a Murderer.
Oh god. Wow.
That's a John Mulaney quote.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. I was fooled. So yeah, it's rough in there. There are lickers. It's bad in this lab.
Lickers?
Ugh. Lickers are like these zombies that like they mutate into like being on all fours, and they have these huge like tongues that will mess you up, and they spit acid. I think they're awful. You do not want the lickers on to come for you.
How is it?
Lickers are bad.
Terrible name.
So Meanwhile, you're in this lab. Leon's finding out his whole life is a lie. There's lickers, and he is getting sicker and sicker because he's got the thing. He's got the bug. Leon has finally found the lab where Elpis is being stored. They've got Grace there because her DNA is supposed to be the key to unlocking it or whatever. Victor Gideon is ready to release this, the greatest bioweapon the world has ever seen, but are you ready? Because this is like the big twist. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Elpis is not a weapon. It's actually kind of the opposite. Elpis is the name of the goddess of hope released at the bottom of Pandora's box. And if you watch the floppy disk that Grace's mom hid, you learn that Elpis is hope because Elpis is a cure. An antiviral to reverse the effects of all known virus-based bioweapons. Bioweapon Narcan, except it creates permanent immunity.
Wow.
Brief aside. It is unclear what Spencer's motives are for creating this. It's possible he grew a conscience, but unlikely. Like, Spencer is cartoonishly evil.
I feel like maybe to, like, protect himself.
That's a valid, that could be it. It doesn't feel like a redemption arc to me because he just doesn't deserve a redemption arc. Mostly because he went through such great lengths to fool anyone who might find his notes. Like, he has laid out a trail of breadcrumbs that have led Victor Gideon to think this is a weapon. He was intentionally deceitful in his weapons.
This was supposed to be his own. I feel like it's supposed to be his own secret, like, he was making it for himself so that he would always stay healthy and, like...
That could be it. There's also, it's another layer to it of his own greed. But the greatest deceit is about Grace herself. Grace is not a clone. She is in no way related to Emily or any of the other experiments. She
is what's-his-face, her dad?
No, she's just a normal girl.
She's just a rando?
She happens to be the first girl that Spencer inoculated with Elpis. That's why when she got bit, nothing happened.
Oh yeah, okay, right. I forgot she got bit.
So basically, Spencer... There's an orphanage in Raccoon City that he used for experimentation. He's a bad dude.
Great. Fantastic.
But Grace is just a red herring. Like nuking Raccoon City was, like the incomplete notes. She is just one more firewall between Elpis and anyone else discovering it because they think, oh, she looks like all these clones, which is incidental. But Spencer makes it seem like they're related when they're not. It's just another layer of trickery. So Spencer did a lot to make sure nobody else would figure this out. He just happened to die before he could do anything with it himself. A more likely explanation than altruism, other than maybe like self-preservation, I think there is a layer of that.
Or like holding it hostage, maybe? Like,
I think it's because... So what they kind of hint at in the game is that inventing a bioweapon cure-all is going to send the world into even more chaos than the bioweapons have put the world in. Because it's like, okay, imagine if someone invented a device that destroyed all nuclear weapons.
Right.
The world would be free from the threat of nuclear winter for the first time in 80 years. But there is also some tenuous piece that's built on the threat of mutually assured destruction. And if that's gone, all geopolitical bets are off.
Oh, yeah.
So he could have just been trying to stir up even more chaos by saying, you know what? No more bioweapons. You have to figure out another way to kill each other. Because he's cartoonishly evil. Spencer made sure that everyone would be looking for the wrong thing in the wrong place. Meanwhile, he would hold all the cards, even in death. And Grace is not special. She's not a weapon. She's not a cure. She's just a normal girl who got thrown into all of this because of a mad scientist and his disciple trying to cash in on his invention. So towards the very end of the game, you are given the choice to destroy Elpis or to release it. And you will know the truth about Elpis by the time you're given this choice if you pay attention to the notes that you find. If you watch that video, if you read between the lines. But if you're not really paying attention, and apparently 56% of people who played this game in the first week it dropped were not paying attention, you will probably choose to destroy Elpis. That's Leon's mission. That's what you've been talking about the whole game.
Yeah.
If you do that, Leon dies from the T-virus.
Yeah.
The game ends really poorly.
Yeah.
But it's very much like, you want to try again, babe? Like, it's obvious that you have made the wrong choice, and that's not the way the game's supposed to end.
Yeah.
So then you go back. I figured it out.
Yay!
I'm smart. So I chose to release Elpis. And you cure Leon if you do that. Right as rain, good as new. You two fight your way out, and the world finally has hope. Or just more chaos. We're going to have to play Resident Evil 10 to know for sure. Epilogue. You know how monsters don't stay dead all the time?
Yeah. Oh my god, is that guy alive?
What guy?
Spencer?
No, he's been he died in a previous game. Spencer's dead. It's just his notes. Emily is not actually dead.
Oh my god.
They give her the cure, which also cures her blindness because that was a result of the virus too. And Grace adopts her.
Aww.
And it's cute.
And
it's
they actually
nice.
look like her daughter.
Nobody even asked questions.
Yeah.
Favorite moment. So, early in the game, when Leon is looking for Grace and he tracks her to the hospital, he is met by a zombie doctor with a chainsaw.
Oh, I think I remember that.
When I tell you this is the most absurd section of zombie combat I have ever witnessed in my life. Like, the chainsaw has a mind of its own. Like, if you shoot the doctor, he drops the chainsaw, but the chainsaw keeps going?
Yes, we did see this part in the walkthrough because I remember the people were, like, laughing
It's
at it.
crazy. Like, the chainsaw's just spinning around and making chaos. Other zombies can pick it up. Sometimes, like, they'll grab it, then they'll fall down. It just, like, drags them around on the floor like a little, like, heat-seeking chainsaw missile. It's ridiculous. You can pick up the chainsaw, but you have to let it stop first. And, like, then you can use it as a weapon. But it can get knocked out of your hand. And if it's still on, then it attacks you. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos. It's so funny. It's so stupid. It's so well animated. Game Boy and I laughed harder at this than, like, a game. I can't think of a video game in recent memory where we laughed harder than this section. Fantastic. It was so stupid. The part where I wanted to break my controller. So imagine that section I just described.
Uh-huh.
But there are two zombies with chainsaws, and it's at a gas station that's on fire. I died several times there, either from backing into a fire or being chainsawed by one zombie while I was chainsawing another zombie.
Who thinks of these things?
Japan.
Somebody is just sitting in a room going, what is the most ridiculous way
That's what Resident Evil is good for. This is their bread and butter. This is their heart and soul. Is what chaos can we make zombies do next?
Gas station?
Check.
Zombies?
Check.
Hold on. Chainsaws.
Huh!
Well, we did that earlier. I'm not done yet. Gas station is on fire.
Like, literally. And it was frustrating. The novelty of how funny the chainsaw zombies looked had worn off by then.
You're like, no,
and it was replaced with pure rage. Pure rage.
Especially, there's two of them now.
I know. And I can only hold one chainsaw. It was ridiculous.
Could you imagine holding two chainsaws?
I can.
They didn't see what I just did, but I was just waving my arms around.
They know what you did. So the character that I had a crush on.
Is it Leon?
It's Leon. Leon Kennedy is so cool that it goes all the way around to him actually being super lame. Like, it just, he's such an aggressive, cool guy D-bag that he becomes super uncool. Which, like, so the creators of this game are Japanese and were initially going for Leon being like your typical American action hero. And he does that so hard that it hurts. But I love him. I especially love his one-liners, which none of the ones in this game match the level of the ones in Resident Evil 4. Like, we'll get there one day, but, like, we're talking about comparing underage boobs to ballistic missiles. Yeah, babe. But I've compiled a list of the best one-liners in Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
Lay it on me.
So this first one, he says it to the chainsaw doctor. I think I'd like a second opinion. This is another one that he's saying to a zombie that's trying to bite him. Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
Oh my god, that's so lame! Like, so predictable.
This one is after he wins a motorcycle jousting thing against... So Leon rides a motorcycle up a building.
Like, you're not about to just speed past
up
that.
A building. Like, fully a building that is standing upright.
90
degrees up a building. Because he's so cool. So he's, like, jousting with Victor Gideon.
When you're cool, that means you can ride a motorcycle up a building.
Yep. And if you can't do it, it's not because physics, it's because you're lame.
I am lame. I can say that with confidence.
Did you try?
I'm not going to.
So anyway, after this, like, motorcycle situation, he's fighting against Victor Gideon, who is also, like, a nemesis zombie, big bad dude. There's a boss fight with him. He's whatever. He falls into a ravine, and Leon, like, leans over the edge and goes, "You should have worn a helmet." This next one is said after he's in a train car that falls into a ravine, and he jumps out just in time to land, like, on a ledge. He says, "Oh, I guess this is my stop." And this last one is my favorite. So he falls off of a roof, but he manages to land perfectly on a zombie and, like, upon reflex, punch the head of the zombie to death. Like, it's literally like it's like one smooth. He falls, he lands, one shot, zombie's dead. And Leon goes, "Excuse me." It's so perfect.
You're gonna wake my kid up.
So you can call me Mrs. Kennedy. But actually, it is revealed at the end of this game that Leon is married, which is big news, because he's been a permanent bachelor. But it doesn't say who he's married to, and the internet has gone wild, and there's lots of speculation. There's DLC coming that will reveal who his wife is.
Ooh.
But we don't know yet.
You're gonna have to tell me.
I will tell you as soon. We'll do a little update.
Okay.
But right now, there are 5 main candidates. There's Ada, Ashley, Hunnigan, Sherry, and Claire. I am ruling out Ashley and Sherry because they were too young when Leon met them, and I think it's creepy and gross.
Oh, yeah.
They were literally children he was protecting in Resident Evil 4 and 2, respectively. Yeah. Especially, Sherry was like 8 or 10.
If that's happening, if that is what is the truth, I'm canceling Resident Evil.
It can't be. It can't be. Like, people are, it just, I can maybe see an argument. So, Ashley is like 16 or 17, depending on original or remake. So, it's like kind of closer. I still don't like it.
Okay, but how old is he in those games?
Oh, at that point, he's in his 20s, mid-20s. It's not the worst thing ever. I still don't like it. It's not the worst thing ever. Claire was the other playable character in Resident Evil 2. They had no sexual chemistry or any other kind of chemistry in that game, really. So I'm ruling this one out. Like, there is nothing between... Claire wants Leon. Leon is just not interested. Leon only has eyes for Ada, who is also in that game. Ada seems to be the big winner so far. Leon has hooked up with Ada. That is canon. That's in one of the Resident Evil movies. She seems to be the overall fan pick for who his wife is. There is definitely sexual tension between them in the other games. Mm-hmm. Ada is not a good person.
Oh, great.
She's a mercenary. She uses people for her own ends. She plays both sides against the middle. She's not loyal. She does always end up helping Leon in the end, but she puts him into danger.
She's no good for Leon.
I don't think so. She's not loyal. Like, she's put him in danger. She saves him in the end, but she could have gotten him killed so many times. Furthermore, I don't see her settling down.
Yeah.
With Leon
not with that kind
anyone.
of job.
I do
Because
think
you can't be loyal to anyone or anything. How are you gonna have a marriage?
yeah, I just don't think Ada doesn't seem like the Marion type. I do think that Leon would cheat on whoever his wife is with Ada. Because he for sure has the hots for her. But my personal choice, and maybe this is Pixel talking.
Okay.
I like Hunnigan for Leon. So you know how in Twin Peaks, Cooper talks to his tape recorder
Yes.
and calls her Diane, and then you learn that Diane's like a real person that's like works at an office, whatever.
Yeah.
Hunnigan is like Leon's Diane.
So here's the thing. I don't know if this just went over my head. I never thought that Diane was not a real person.
I genuinely thought Diane was just what he called
that was like supposed to think. That's what we were supposed to have thought. But I was like, oh no, Diane's just his assistant. I don't know.
No, you were right. I was right. I was wrong. But that's kind of who Hunnigan is, except like they communicate back and forth in Resident Evil 4 primarily.
Okay.
And like she is his secretary and assistant, and she gets him out of a bunch of jams, and Hunnigan is always there when Leon needs her. I like the idea of being them being together more than I like any of the other ones. We'll see. It's probably going to be Ada.
Boo.
But I'm Team Hunnigan.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Gameplay mechanics. One of the coolest things about this game is the way that playing as Grace and playing as Leon feel totally different.
Oh, that is cool.
When you play as Grace, like the camera is in first person, you have one gun, maybe a knife if you're lucky. So basically, like what it looks like is like you can see like her hands in front of you, but you don't see her. It's like I said, it starts out as a run and hide until you unlock the blood magic, and like even still, her inventory space is very limited. Mm-hmm. So like she can only carry like a few things at a time.
Yeah.
So there's this feeling, like there's this constant feeling of like I'm not really prepared to face what I have to face because I can't carry enough stuff to get through what I need to get through. Her section of the game is very much horror focused. Leon, meanwhile, is an absolute killing machine with this enormous inventory that can hold like 6 guns and grenades and body armor.
All right.
He can carry, like, it's absurd, the amount of weapons and things that he can carry at one time. His camera's in third person, so like
you can see
him. Back over his like left shoulder 3 feet. So his section feels more like an action game.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It almost like feels like an arcade game. Like he gets paid per kill by the BSAA. So like there's this little like cash counter in the corner. Like every time you kill someone, your money goes up and you can cash that in for like weapon upgrades and stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but it feels like a totally different game than Grace's sections. And like previous Resident Evil games have felt like horror or action, but not really at the same time. Like there's some that are more horror heavy, there's some that are more action heavy. This one like does both pretty well. So it's just cool to have both of those feelings in the same game. The new mechanic with harvesting the blood and making a bunch of stuff out of it is neat and stupid, and it doesn't make any sense, but it was cool. Like, it was nice.
What else can I put in this blood?
Yeah, I had fun with it. It was really, really dumb, but it was dumb in a very much like, you need to suspend your disbelief if you're going to play a Resident Evil game kind of a way. Gameplay is par for the Resident Evil course. Lots of combat, bosses that have huge glowing pus bubbles on them that need to be shot for them to die, puzzles and locked doors and scavenging for resources. It doesn't really break any new ground on that front. Because even like the blood is new, but crafting weapons out of weird stuff you find, like that's not new.
Yeah.
It's just blood this time.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything new. It is mining nostalgia really hard. But it's doing it in a fun and satisfying way. Like, I enjoyed myself the whole time. The haptic feedback for this game, do you know what haptic feedback is?
I do, I think, but just remind me.
So it's like the controller like
the vibrating? Okay.
In a way that it feels... I can't wrap my mind around like how they do this and how it works like on a psychology level because everything just feels so realistic. It feels like you're opening a heavy door. It feels like you're being rained on. It feels like you're typing on a typewriter. Like,
interesting.
Just with little vibrations. I don't know. It like tricks your brain. The haptics were just amazing.
Nice.
In this game. It adds to the immersion in a huge way. Also, Grace's flashlight is really good. Survival horror game flashlights are usually terrible. Hers is good. It works really well. It was a good flashlight. My overall rating. Like I said, this game was really fun to play. My first impression was that this was kind of an unoriginal cash grab that just like relied a little too heavily on nostalgia. Okay. And I do stand by that to an extent. They are milking the fan service for this one.
Yeah.
Which I guess, like, it's kind of time because both 7 and 8 were pretty big departures for Resident Evil. Some fans really didn't like them. I thought they were both great, personally, but they are very different from the well-worn Resident Evil path. So this was kind of like, all right, we'll do something for the fans this time. We'll take it back around. But, like I said, I loved 7. 8 had a lot of potential too. My problems with 8 are not that it was too different. It just wasn't as fun in some places. But like, what I didn't like about it wasn't that it was different. Like, there were other issues with that game. But like this game, like I got sucked in and I didn't want to stop playing. Like I would play for hours and look up and be like, I really have to pee. How long have I had to pee? I don't know. Better go take care of that. I played.
Pop-Tart is like on top of the refrigerator or something.
Genuinely. I played through this game twice in like a week. Brief aside, that's something else that Resident Evil games do really well is replayability. Like it gives you like points and stuff through one playthrough. You can unlock bonuses for the next playthrough.
Nice.
It's fun. It's just fun. Resident Evil games in general do not have the best storytelling or acting or character development. But they're incredibly fun and addictive anyway. And honestly, this game really did have decent characters and decent storytelling for a Resident Evil game.
Okay.
It wasn't perfect. It was too long. It was way too long. The middle section with Leon and Raccoon City drags a lot. It relies too heavily on nostalgia. But it's still a great game. I give it 8 out of 10.
Nice. That's good.
So, yeah, I think that'll do it for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Like and subscribe. Find us on Instagram. We're at Paige and Pixel PC.
Yep.
But until next time,
read hard,
play hard, and kill zombies. Mwah.